So this is all lost to history. AT still gives us all this, but we can't find any record of it. We can't find a record of the 21st Regiment until June, when we found this. And this is the payroll of the 21st Regiment. I realize it's a little hard to read the way it's projected. I'm going to blow it up a little bit more, but I wanted to give you an idea how large this is. It's a ledger, and ledgers back then were about 3 feet, 4 feet long. So when you opened them up, they were like 6 or 8 feet long. And the entire military record of one soldier would be on one line all the way across. And it'd have his name, his rank, his date of birth, where he's from, what his military occupation was, when he mustered in or out, was he wounded, etc. There were thousands of these books. There were 15,000 men. They couldn't find the book for the 21st Regiment, so they didn't think it existed. So when they went to apply for their pensions, they couldn't get them. But it does exist, and it's in typeset. It's not in handwriting like you would see all the other books. And we're going to blow this up, and indeed this is the payroll. And there's Andrew Taylor Still. You can see Sandy Lowe. Colonel Lowe is the commander of the unit. So this is the field and staff of, this is the headquarters company for the regiment. And Sandy Lowe is the commander. Andrew Taylor Still is the major. He is the field officer. Indeed, he would be the one leading men into battle, third in command. And a little further down, you see James M. Still. That's his older brother, the surgeon. James Still has recently graduated from Rush Medical College in Chicago, about 6 months before this. He's also a theologian. He has a degree and credentials as a minister, just like his father. You can see another very important part about this is that the men are not paid until 1870. The battle was in 1864. They weren't paid for 6 years. So we've taken this information. This is the same data and put it on an Excel spreadsheet. And the young man that's been doing our IT today is accredited for this spreadsheet here at the bottom, Adam Bontrager. There's a lot of data on that sheet. You can see a lot of information at the top about the headquarters company and the dates. You can see the men's names, the dates they served, and how they were paid. But the really important part is down here at the bottom. This payroll isn't closed until 1907. So if you're looking for the payroll of the 21st Regiment in 1864, you got to look in 1907. Nobody's doing that. And I tried to look for it back in 2007, 2009, when I was in Army War College, because I wanted to write about AT Still, because you have to write term papers, right? And I couldn't find much on him. Nobody can. He says, I'm in F Company of the Kansas Volunteers, 9th Kansas Volunteers. He says that in his autobiography. He says it when he applies for his pension. There's no F Company of the 9th Kansas Volunteers until after the Civil War, during the Indian Wars. So nobody can find this stuff, so he can't get a Civil War pension. Indeed, he went to Fort Leavenworth and he enlisted, and indeed he was in the 21st. When he went to Fort Leavenworth and enlisted, they put them in the Cass County Home Guard, a Missouri unit. And eventually they found him there, and he did finally get a Civil War pension for that enlisted service, but he never could get the Civil War pension for the 21st. It became kind of a lost unit. And if you went to the Kansas National Guard Museum and then you asked General Gerhardt, where's the 21st? He'd say, Doc, we don't have a 21st. Because I went and did that this summer, and I said, sir, I think we do. And I started to show him these things, and indeed, these things are there now because they've been digitized, and they're on Kansas Memories at the Kansas State Historical Society. So I've shown this publicly once before, so this would be the second time that we've seen it, 1907. Adjutant General Hughes signs this, and he puts it in the biennial report to the governor. And he says it's the darkest day in Kansas history that we've taken this long to close these claims. There were thousands of these claims. Kansas put in thousands of claims to the federal government. The federal government would have to pass legislation, and they would try to pay these claims. And that's why it took so long for these men to get paid and for these claims to get settled. There were claims for property and all kinds of things. So it took a long time, till 1907, to finally settle all the Civil War claims that Kansas had.